Hi there, and welcome to part 2 of the tutorial on how to reduce polycounts for hairstyles in The Sims 3. In the part 1, the previous part, you could see how to add texture to the mesh, how to import it, etc. So I assume you know how to do that now. So for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the original file of the hair we worked in with part 1, so the 17.5K one, and import it. As you can see, if you import it back in, it doesn't have any textures again. But the fun thing is, when you go to shading, you don't have to do everything again, but you just can click on the last one in the drop-down menu, and it saved your texture from what you did before. So it's in here now. So now, as we know, this hair is actually easy to work with, but for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to pretend that it's hard hair to work with, and you need to do some extra steps to reduce it. So uh, if you need to edit the hair in any way, you need to go to edit mode. So as you can see all the vertices. I think they're called this little dots here, which you need when you try to edit the hair. Let's say you want to change it to shape or size or anything, but we're not going to do that now. We're just going to focus on what to do when you need to do some extra steps on reducing the polygon. So if you put your mouse over here and drag, you can create a split screen. Um, here you go to the upper button here, click it, the drop down menu, and go to UV editor. So as you can see the texture file of the hair in it here. What we actually want is that the UV map also appears on it. So if you select the hair, you can see where the UV map is and where the texture files are. So what we actually want to do is press the two arrows here, so to sync the selection. As you can see, everything I select over here now gets selected on the UV map and vice versa. So this is actually a pretty neat mesh to work with. Not all are like this, so be prepared to have some meshes that have a really awful UV map. So you just have to deal with it, unfortunately. So, okay, let's say for this hair, the hair itself actually reduces normally, but the fringe doesn't. As you can see, this is a very nice mesh, so you can select the fringe very easily here. So, so let's say you only want to reduce the poly count of the hair, not the fringe. So how are you going to do that? A lot of creators do this like this. So they select the fringe and need to think how to do it. I think it was Ctrl P. Let's see. No, it was just P. Yeah, you only press P when you have the part selected you want to separate. Do a selection. As you can see, it actually disappeared from the mesh we're working with now. So if you go to object mode and now click the hair, the fringes isn't included. So if you start decimating now, you will only decimate the hair and not the fringe. Okay. This is a fine way to do it, actually, if you want to do it like that. But I have a better way. But let's cover this one first. Let's say you want to do it like this. You separated the part of the mesh. You've reduced everything, and you want to put it back together. What you're gonna do is you're gonna need to put them back together, of course, or yes, you have two separate pieces, and you don't want that. So when doing this and put them back together, always select the part of the mesh that is on top of the rest of the mesh first. So in this case, first the fringe, then you shift click the hair. The first one you selected is orange, and then press, I think it was J. No, let's see, Alt J. I'm sorry, I need to figure out how to do this again because I don't use this. It was Ctrl J, sorry. So to go back, so first select the fringe, then the hair, Ctrl J, and they are back together in one piece. Okay, so you can do it like this. Let's say the hair has a fringe and the base hair and a ponytail. What you do then is first the ponytail, and you uh, connect it to the base of the hair, then the fringe, and you connect it to the base of the hair. So always uh, the one that is on top of everything needs to be uh, done less if you have multiple pieces, but it always needs to be selected first. So first the ponytail, then the hair, then the fringe, then the hair. Never the base hair first, because you're going to get transparency issues when you do that. That's exactly the reason why I actually don't like doing it this way, because sometimes you do everything correctly and it still gives you transparency issues when you get into your game. So I have a better way, which I'm gonna show you. So for that, we're gonna go back to edit mode again. As I said, please make sure this is connected. It will make it a lot easier for you to work this way. So we're gonna separate the fringe again, but in a different way. So we're gonna select it. Let's say, for the sake of this tutorial, that you actually don't have a very nice UV map, and you can see what you need to select to select only the fringe. What you can do in that case is, if you put this on, you can see it becomes very see-through and very hard to see also. So that's why I don't like it when hairs have bad UV maps. But you can then select everything like this. You press L, and then you select the back face, and you need to pay very good attention when you do this, because you can accidentally do this, for example, and then that streak is gonna be with the fringe instead of with the hair. If you make a mistake like that, just Ctrl C, and it will be back to the original. As I said, if you do things like this, pay attention, because you easily select wrong things, but you can also select the fringe in the hole like this. If you're not sure you selected everything, I can see actually I didn't select something here. If you press hide and this UV map, you can see I indeed forgot to do one piece. So hide is H, by the way. So if you do Alt H, you can see what you've hidden again, and it's also immediately selected. So we've selected the fringe now. Okay, and I'm going to show you the easier way to reduce only the hair or only the fringe. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to vertex, and as you can see, this has actually this object data properties, but it's vertex groups, and as you can see here, it's all the bones the hair is assigned to. I'm actually a little bit surprised to see that this is assigned to the spine also, which means it probably won't animate very well. I overlooked that because I already released this default, so I'm gonna test it in game and actually see if it gives problems, because this is a short hair. Usually it only needs to be assigned to the head actually. But okay, that aside, what you're gonna do now is you're gonna create a new vertex group. So you're gonna press the plus here. We're gonna call this fringe, and with the fringe completely selected, you're gonna press assign. Now when you don't have it selected anymore and just press select, you have the fringe completely selected without having to do all that stuff again. So for now we're gonna hide it. Hide the fringe. Now we have only the hair. For now we only have to press A to have it all selected. You can also do it like this if you prefer it. So press B in the UV editor and select it all. So it doesn't really matter whatever floats your boat. So we're gonna do a new vertex group again, and this we're gonna call hair. Okay, we can unhide the fringe again. So, and now if you, as you can see, oh, I forgot to, I'm sorry, I have a Ctrl Z. I forgot to assign the hair actually. Important to do that. So, unhide the fringe. Now you can select the hair. And you can select the fringe all separately. Okay, gonna go back to object mode. can make this a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna reduce it again. So I'm gonna go to decimate. Now, as I said, we pretend that the fringe doesn't cooperate when decimating. So what we're gonna do now, we're actually gonna choose the vertex group we created here. So we're gonna choose the hair and decimate it like that. So 0.9 or 0.8, and as you can see, nothing happens with the fringe, but stuff is happening with the hair. So let's say 0.8. You can also do that first and then select the hair. And again, nothing is happening with the fringe, but there's things happening with the hair. So you can also do it the other way around. So instead of the hair, of course, pick the fringe. As you can see, it actually does decimate worse than the hair, because you can see the difference very clearly on this one. But yeah, in my opinion, that's an easier way to do it, and you can still do a step in with everything. So, okay, we've done this. You must remember that you have now actually assigned the hair to vertex groups, so bones that are not actually in the Sims 3. In the Sims 3, so the game now thinks this is bones, but they don't exist. So it usually doesn't really matter. You can still export it. Let's say blah. I'm gonna export this. Oh, okay. I'm not sure if you saw that. I'm gonna do it again. I'm trying to export it. It gives me an error message. So good that it happens, because then you can immediately see what to do when this happens. So lot 0, let's say. So I want to export it, and I get here one or more vertices are assigned to more than 4 vertex group. Export cancelled. So when that happens, you actually need to remove that vertex groups again, because so select the hair, press remove, and remove it. I think when you remove one of the two, it actually exports again. I'm gonna just test this. So as you can see, I don't know everything either. Sometimes I need to test stuff too. So yes, now it exports. So sometimes you need to do that. But usually what I do is I actually remove both of the new vertex groups I created. So you remove the hair, select remove the hair, and then remove it like this, because then I know for sure that the bone assignment is correct. Okay, but what I still want you to do, if you decimate a hair using this this way, is to always copy the bone assignments of the original files back to the hair, because it might be so that it actually accidentally copied the vertex group you created into the hair, and I'm not sure what that does if you load it like that into your game. Luckily we have the mesh toolkit, which makes it very easy for us to do bone assignment back to the original. So you go to Auto Tools for geom, do the original as the reference. So let's see, where am I? I need to go to my desktop. So you need the original. You can again sort by size, pick the lot 0, so the highest lot for the original hair, and then select the lot you just exported, so lot 1, and make sure it's on replace with all bone assignments. It usually is, and you can do all assignments and save. If you're not sure if there are bone assignments on your mesh, which you need, or else your game crash, you can see that very quickly, or in Blender in the menu I showed you, but there's also a nice trick for it in Milkshape. So let's import the mesh we just made into Milkshape. So this one, was it? That's 0. So what you want to do is you go to joints and to draw vertices with bone colors. As you can see, what I just said to you actually is correct, and the bonus assignment is all wonky. All those red dots here, they don't need, they shouldn't be there. And oh, I always get confused with this one after I come from Blender because the buttons you need to use are so different. So I don't like to work with Milkshape like this. It's confusing me. But okay, all the white you see in the fringe is actually the vertex group that doesn't exist. And as you can see, it actually also did some other parts of the hair. It didn't export it correctly. So if you want to see the difference, so this was the Arlot, and we're gonna go to the original. You see, it's actually very different. So this is how it's supposed to look like, the bonus assignments, which actually looks pretty neat if I see it like this. I was concerned that it was to the spine, but this might actually work. Need to test it in game. The green one is the spine, blue is the neck, purple is the head. Um, and I'm not sure what the yellow one is, but over the time you'll start to recognize which colors represent which bone groups. So, okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to put the bone assignments back from the original. So what I did here, I'm going to just show you again. So pick the original here, pick the lot you created here, do assignment and save. You can just save it under the same name. And if you import it, oh, I did the wrong button. If you import it now, you'll see that the bone assignments are correct again. So again, if you reduce meshes the way I showed you to by separating with vertex groups, please always do this and copy the bone assignments of the original back to the hair you just exported out of Blender, just to make sure, because if you have wonky bone assignments in game, you really won't like that. Looks weird. So okay. I think that was it for part 2. I think I'm actually going to show you how to do it with an hair that's actually difficult to reduce, so not pretend, but so just so you can grasp the idea better. And so I'll see you in part 3 with that, but also with some more error codes, and so maybe I will make a part 4 of that. So thanks for watching and see you in part 3.